Chapter 8, Dinner for Two. Now playing as Levy. You start work early the next morning, determined to get to the bottom of Pat's demands and not to think about Ella in the movie theater. I warned you it wasn't pretty. Mr. Rancic's legal team must have spent all last week drafting this up. What a waste of time. None of this would hold up in front of a judge. That's what I figured, since Miss Rancic didn't have a job during their marriage. Still, I knew you'd want to be notified right away. Thank you for letting me know. This will be easier to take care of the earlier we address it. As your executive assistant leaves, you return your attention to the pages in front of you. There's no way I'm letting Pat ask for alimony. Shutting him down will be my pleasure. For the rest of the morning, you focus on your work. You don't think of Ella while you help a colleague go over their closing arguments. You don't imagine her wide-eyed shocked as you sit through a jury selection. And you definitely don't picture her demure, fluttering eyelashes as you petition for a continuation on a particular tricky case. Thank God I have a meeting with Tony after lunch. If anyone can pull me out of this, it's the only partner at the firm as merciless as I am. You're reading over some briefs in the conference room when Tony walks in carrying a towering stack of files. Thanks for consulting on this case with me, Levy. I'm in way over my head with this disposition. Believe me, you're the only one doing me a favor. A cutthroat child custody case is exactly what I need right now. That's something I don't hear every day. What's going on with you? I'm thinking that I can't be cured by hard work. Understood. Let's get to it. Tony takes the chair opposite yours and gets to work. After a few hours, you've made a sizable dent in the pile. You sure you won't just take this case from me? No one can whip a deadbeat dad into shape like you. You wish. I've got more than enough on my plate as it is. At least let me thank you with a round of drinks. A bunch of us are heading out after work. Can't. I'm busy. With what? Or should I say with who? Tony, I'll take a rain check. You stretch and get up from the table, refusing to give anything away. My plans wouldn't interest you. Maybe next time. Sure thing. Either way, I owe you big time for this. You'll always do. You bid Tony farewell and head back to your office to pack up for the night. Ella is coming over after work. The sooner this training is done and I get this woman out of my system, the better. Interesting. You arrive home and swiftly prepare everything for your next lesson. 30 minutes later, you pull open the door to find Ella with a shy, eager smile. Your chest contracts at the sight of her, but you refuse to let it show. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be in the position or not, so... Shaking your head, you usher her inside, careful not to let any part of your body touch hers. Before we begin, we need to talk about Pat. It's not bad news, is it? Ella, I'd never let anything bad happen to you. I promise to take care of you, and that's what I intend to do. His bid for alimony is flimsy at best. I'll have it thrown out by the end of the week. Now, unless you have any more questions for your attorney, your dom is ready to play. I don't have any questions. Sir? Question mark? Then it's time for you to show me what you've learned. She glances uncertainly up at you, but you cross your arms and wait to see what she'll do. Swallowing heavily, she drops to her knees. Like this? That's a good start. Flushing, she slides her hands behind her back and lifts her chin. Her body is perfectly poised and ripe for the touch. The one thing you refuse to give her and yourself. Better. Your hunger starts rising in more ways than one. Although you'd like to draw out this moment, you make her squirm on her knees. You push on. Tonight's lesson will take place in the dining room. I have an array of aphrodisiacs awaiting your pleasure. Really? I don't exactly think oysters when I think of... Anything can be part of it if you know what you're doing. And I definitely know what I'm doing. Yes, Levy. I'll do whatever you say. I know you will. That's what our lesson will be about. Denial and indulgence, passion and purpose. I hope you came hungry. I'm starving. Clasp your hands behind your back and carefully lay out your plans. First, we'll head into the dining room to enjoy a meal on my terms. That means I choose what you eat and how you eat it. And if I want to feed you from my fingertips, I'll feed you from my fingertips. If I want you to beg for scraps, you'll beg for scraps, understood? Understood. There's a special sub-etiquette for dinner parties. Certain expectations your dom will demand. To fail in this will be to fail your dom. She nods. She doesn't understand, not yet, but with any luck, she will be by the end of this meal. This will be an important lesson for you by itself, but I have an additional proposal that to take it to the next level if you're willing. You reach into your pocket and pull out a lace blindfold dangling before her eyes. You've sampled this before, but if I cover your eyes, you'll unlock an entirely different experience. Your other senses will be heightened. One taste will bring you pleasure. You'll have no choice but to give yourself over entirely to me. Your pretty little mouth, everything that goes in it will be mine. You watch her swallow, the way her slender throat constricts as she contemplates this. I'd be willing to try if you think I'm ready. And the way she hesitates, torn between desire to give in and her need to take things slow, you realize you'll have to make this call for her. Well, at least they actually add the blindfold this time. Your lips curl in a satisfied smile. You're going to enjoy this, but not nearly as much as I am. The pulse at the base of her throat throbs as you trail the blindfold over her shoulders and up the line of her neck. I trust you, Levy. A feeling of panic overtakes you. You've never had a sub so wholly unprepared for what's about to happen, or so innocently trusting. Oh, if it were anyone but me training her, she'd be so easy to take advantage of. She notices the sudden shift in your mood and frowns. Did I do something wrong? Ella, be careful who you trust. You shake your hand and pull the blindfold up around her eyes. She gasps as you tie it tightly against her skin. One of these days, your innocence will get you in trouble. I thought you wanted me to be obedient. That's the problem. You take Ella's hand briefly as you help her to her feet. Careful not to linger too long. With the blindfold on, she steps. Her steps are slower than usual, in each movement a careful extension of her limbs. Ella has no choice but to follow my lead, which means I can do anything I want to her. Whisper in her ear. You drop your mouth close to her ear, trying not to lose yourself in the sweet, intoxicating scent. Have I told you how beautiful you look with a blindfold over your eyes? No. A body like yours is meant to be tied up on display. She shivers lightly, uncertainty imbuing her body with a delicacy that you set your heart racing. She's wholly in your power, and she knows it. Dinner is ready in the next room. I'll help you to your seat, but that's where all touching will end. She swallows and nods. Yes, Levy. You take her by the elbow and gently guide her towards the dining room. Her skin is soft, and at this proximity you can feel every time her breath catches. If this is what a simple touch can do, imagine. But you shake your head and stop that train of thought in its tracks. You have no right to imagine anything where Ella is concerned. Focus, Levy. Now is not the time to lose control. You enter the dining room to find an array of decadent dishes laid out on the table, waiting to be sampled. It smells so good in here. You pull out a chair and stand patiently while Ella lowers herself into it. She sits on the edge, expectant, wary, while you choose the seat nearest her. Dinner parties are a popular way for doms to show off their subs. The act of feeding and being fed, nothing is more intimate. I can think of a few things. Sex is just sex, but feeding someone is bringing a tiger to the table. It could bite at any moment, and so could I. You lift a fork and run the sharp edge of the line. The tines along the curve of her cheek. She jumps at the contact, but doesn't pull away. We'll begin with something easy. No dinner party is complete without wine. Grab the bottle sitting at your elbow and pour out a glass. The rich, blood-red liquid swirls around in a slow, lazy circle. While it doesn't have the same aphrodisiac reputation as some other foods, many of the compounds in red wine have the same chemical components as human pheromones. Lift the glass to her lips. Tip your head back and let me coat your throat with it. But I... Don't make me tell you again. She gulps nervously, but does as you ask, her lower lip falling open as you lift the glass. Smell how rich and earthy it is. Taste the complexities on your tongue. Her lips grow stained with a deep red as she drinks. Do you feel it taking over your senses, controlling your desire? I do now. You set the glass out of her reach and move on to the next dish. Asparagus has long been considered a food of lovers. Not only is the shape ideal for hand feeding, but it's been known to increase blood flow to your various extremities. Feed it to her. Open your mouth for me. What if I don't like asparagus? Well, that's too bad for you. I don't care. You'll take it in your mouth and swallow it anyway. A nervous, darting tongue touches her lips before she gives in. As you lift the vegetable with your fingertips, you allow it to trace the outline of her mouth before sliding it in. She bites gently down. If we were at a formal dinner party, we would have an audience. Even a moment of disobedience would be intolerable. But with my blindfold, I could pretend it's just the two of us. That's the part of the appeal, yes. Many doms command their subs to sit in their laps during dinner parties to make things easier and more fun. Is that what you'd do if I were your real sub? Your fingers clasp tightly around your fork. The thought of having her curl up in your lap, her soft body and pliant as she lifts food to your lips, is almost painful. Yes, Ella. I'd have you between my legs every chance I get. She nods her understanding, her throat working slowly up and down. So you've done this before, been to a dinner party, I mean, several times. Some of my friends are known to throw master banquets every chance they get. We enjoy dinner first and playtime later. But not all doms enjoy having their subs in their laps during a meal. Some prefer to have them on their knees or under the table. Is that what you want? It's a good practice, yes. Come kneel at my feet. We'll do oysters next. She falls to her knees with surprising speed. She waits patiently, her chin raised as she waits for your next command. Take your time enjoying the wet, slippery glide of it between your lips. Swirl it on your tongue. Slide it down your throat. As you speak, her breathing starts to pick up. And if you spill it on yourself, I'll be very displeased. But I can't. You tisk in a gentle warning. Don't talk back. Remember, we're at a party with several other doms. You wouldn't want me to look bad in front of them. She ducks her hand and reaches for the dish you hold out to her. She lifts an oyster and carries it to her mouth, but it slides out of its shell before she makes it all the way. I warned you about them. You're lucky this is a practice round. Put your hands behind your back and open your mouth. I'll take care of you this time. Thank you, Levy. I'm sorry. She allows her lips to fall apart and waits patiently as you lift an oyster and bring it close. Oysters have always been my favorites. I love the texture, taste, the way they evoke all the senses. You tip the shell and watch as she eats. These have been flown in from France, especially for you. I wouldn't want them to go to waste. I never tasted anything like it. Pull out the seat next to you and invite Ella to sit herself once again. I think you've earned a chance to enjoy some of the food and ask any additional questions you might have. You place the platters of food within her reach and direct her to where the cutlery is. She picks up a fork before speaking. I do ask a lot of questions, don't I? Is it no annoying? There are a lot of things, Ella, but annoying isn't one of them. In that case, I was wondering about the whole dinner party thing. When you hang out with other doms and their subs like this, do you share? Sometimes, not always. And you have, like, all together at once, or? If she's wearing a blindfold, how would you show any sudden jealousy? You're careful not to show any sudden jealousy that overtakes you. The idea is sharing this woman, even in a group setting, makes your stomach grow tight. Ella, let's take things one step at a time. I think we should get through our second lesson before we start signing up for that. You're right. Sometimes it feels like I'll never get caught up on all this stuff. One thing's for sure, I've never had such a delicious dinner in my whole life. A girl could get used to this sort of thing. Part of us Dom's job is to take care of this sub. It's not all about punishment. In fact, if you really got yourself off with a curt shake of your hand, that's a road you don't dare go down. If I really what? Clench your jaw tight and refuse to answer. You were going to say that you'd spoil her every chance you got. Fancy dinners, trips abroad, exquisite lingerie. I said something wrong again, didn't I? You're upset. Ella, I'm just thinking. I got lost in my own thoughts for a second. Everything's fine. It's good because I'm pretty sure I smell chocolate somewhere on the table. This is the final lesson for this evening. I hope you're ready. An educational dessert. Lava cake. Her finger search the table for her wine glass, but as she lifts it to her lips, the wine inside sloshes over the brim and right down the front of her. Oh. You watch as the blossoming red stain spreads. Ella tries to dab at her chest, but she only makes the mess worse. Your lips curve in a smile of the anticipation. You realize she's given you an important teaching moment. That's my favorite vintage. She glows flustered at the hard, dominating note in your voice. Her hand flutters at her chest before falling into her lap. How bad is it? Your clothes are ruined, and I don't like it when my subs get messy. Instead of cowering, she hangs her head, but not fast enough to hide her soft exhilaration of anticipation. I'm sorry, Levy. I'll do better next time, I promise. Ella. I'll forgive you this time. Since this is your first time dining with a blindfold, a little mess is to be expected. I wanted to pick the other one, but, you know. I'm sorry. I wanted to please you. You ignore the way the damp fabric clings to her, highlighting every tantalizing curve. You do please me, Ella. You cut off a bite of the chocolate cake and lift it to her mouth. She closes her lips around the fork and releases a soft moan of delight. Your job is, for the rest of the meal, is to enjoy yourself. I don't deserve it, but thank you. You find yourself spearing a larger bite and holding it to her lips. Thanks aren't necessarily. You've earned your reward. Is this a universal sub rule? I shouldn't say thank you? You should take your dom's lead. Every dom is different, and it'll take some time to get to know their preferences. That's why dinner parties like this are so popular. Because it'll help me learn what my dom likes. Close your eyes against how curious she looks, how eager. Yes and no, these parties help you learn about dom's preferences, but you also get to meet other subs to share stories, tips. I never thought of that. It'd be fun to meet other subs. The longer the meal goes on, the more difficult it is for you to keep your hands to yourself. Every bite she takes, every flush of her heat to her skin, Makes you wonder more and more. You'd think I never had a new sub before. It's a little beyond that, my dude. I know I didn't get everything right, but this was fun. I like serving you. Every part of you longs to trace the outline of her lips, to throw her over the table and show her what real hunger looks like. The longer you sit there fighting every urge, the more her smile falls. Didn't you have fun? Dinner's over, it's time for you to head home. She pulls the blindfold down around her eyes and blinks at the sudden lights of the dining room. Is everything okay? You stand up from the table and turn away so she can't see how close you are to losing it. Everything's fine, it's just... I have other things to do. It's late. I have a lot of work to catch up on. You're going to work after everything we just... She trails off before she finishes, a look of uncertainty flitting across her delicate features. Of course, Levy, you know what's best. That used to be true, but I'm not so sure anymore. She's about to turn and leave when... Wait. Unable to resist, you lift your thumb and wipe away a small smear of chocolate from the side of her mouth. Make sure she gets home safely. Anderson will take you home tonight and arrange for your car to be delivered in the morning. She opens her mouth to protest, but you don't let her. No arguments, it's late and you just had an intense session. I do the same for any of my subs. After a long, searching look at your stormy expression, she decides not to push you. She heads towards the front door, and before you can issue any more orders... Good night, Levy. The moment you're alone, all the pin-up energy of the past few hours surges through you. You pace the length of the room, feeling like a caged animal. I knew this was a terrible idea. I never should have... Let her talk me into being your dom. Even pretending is starting to be too much. What I need is a shower to clear my head. Without wasting any time, you strip off your clothes and step into the shower. You turn on all the jets and welcome the hard patter of water over your naked body. Groaning, you press your forehead against the cold marble tile. You place your palms on either side of your head, but it's no use. Your fingers ache to trail down your body, to take yourself and pump hell out of your system as hard as you can. There's only one way to relieve myself after a night like that. I'll never get to sleep otherwise. Really? Really? Let's be honest. We know where that's going. Let's just avoid that altogether. Pushing yourself off the wall, you reach for the faucet and turn the water as cold as you can. The icy jets feel like knives cutting to the bone, but you welcome the pain. If hell can stick to the rules, and so can I. You stay in the shower long after your skin grows numb. Your body aches with the cold, but it's better than the alternative, imagining hell in the shower with you. You let your head fall back with a groan. The hell am I doing? Lil. Alright, without further ado, that one was super short. I know, the final diamond choice I didn't go with, because we know where that's gonna go. Because, it's Pixelberry, pushing the boundaries, even of what Google will accept on their Play Store, let alone what YouTube will certainly push. So Chapter 9 will be up here, within the next day or so. Already Mismatch has been uploaded today. Crimes of Passion, I think we got 1 or 2 chapters before quote-unquote meeting the hiatus. And Shipwrecked has only got a couple chapters left as well before that book is completely done. There's some other books supposed to be coming out here soon. And I'm going to be working on, Slow Burn, as well as the other one that was VIP that I never got around to. So please remember that if you do want to continue watching the content, enjoying it, coming back, to hit that subscribe button, but also the bell icon to receive notifications of when I upload content live. That way, you guys will get the notifications on your mobile devices or basically on your PC. Little icon will pop up and you'll click on it and it'll be like, oh yeah, Locum did a video today. So yeah, that's the thing. Thanks for watching once again. Love you beautiful faces. Catch y'all later. Peace out.